Smart contracts delayed and the entire market is red. I keep getting asked, Freeman, what does smart contracts being delayed mean for Kaspa? Well, let's get into it. We're going to get into why it is delayed, what they will bring to the overall Kaspa ecosystem. And last, we're going to dive into the chart and look at a very specific level that I'm watching as my pivot between are we bullish or are we bearish. Guys, it's going to be a great video. We're going to get into everything Kaspa and more. I love you all. This is never financial advice. Coming over here, you can see the entire market is a red, and Kaspa is not immune to that. But I want to get back to this chart in just a minute. We're going to do a deep dive on some technical analysis here, but I want to get into what this means that there is a delay in smart contracts. We're all waiting for the 31st to come for smart contracts. This would enable a lot of things, but it would first and mainly enable a DEX liquidity pools. That's what I'm most excited about. And so that's what we are waiting for. But there has been a delay by the Kasplex team. We got lucky with the delay because code FAM25 is expiring. No more promo codes once Kaspa smart contracts are live. Get into the private Discord, join a community. We have a lot of good calls, even a 200x, but most importantly, we have a close-knit community, guys. So join FAM25, link down below. Now let's get back into smart contracts. You can see they said smart contracts on Kaspa deserve nothing less than perfection. It says no bugs, just final touches. The L2 is already functional. Core testing has confirmed that there are no critical issues, but they still want to do some additional tests. But then I started thinking, exactly how does this work? I bet a lot of people don't even understand yet how this L2 is Kasplex and how the gas token will be and how everything operates. So I did a little bit of a dive to try to show everyone what that is. So if we're coming over here, taking a look at Kasplex's website, you can see building the future of a Kaspa. And then you come down here and it says Kasplex ZK EVM launching soon. And they also have the KRC20 protocol standard and Kasplex new VM that's under management. But I come over here to learn more, and you can see this is kind of like the white paper for a Kasplex, but it gets over here to the gas fee mechanism, and you can see the user on the layer 1, which is Kaspa, right, would essentially bridge with wrapped Kaspa the same way there's wrapped ETH and everything like that, and then that would operate on the Kasplex L2, and so then there would be gas fees paid to the L2 in what is wrapped Kas, and there would be from the L1 gas paid for the gas transaction for the layer 1. So it's very interesting how it works, and they do not have their own token. So other layer 2s that we've seen on other chains, instead of wrapping in this, they would actually have their own token called the Kasplex token, right? And then you could exchange Kas for Kasplex and go from there. But this is using a bridge model, and I really like that a lot. I think it's what helps strengthen the overall Kas ecosystem. And so I'm really happy that they delayed it. If they thought there was anything that could be improved, because the last thing you want is a sloppy launch. You don't want what happened with KRC20 happening. That is what was bad, and it was like a wallet that you couldn't do transactions because you couldn't increase the gas fee for priority. So people were waiting forever just to send Kaspa, and that is not what we want. We're trying to attract the massive here. There's a lot of liquidity in crypto looking for the solution for what solved the trilemma. And so you can see it says developers already in touch with us and will be informed directly of the expected date. So we should know something about smart contracts here hopefully in the next couple weeks. But it says Kaspa experience in Berlin in Germany is coming up on the 13th. There's something in Korea on the 10th. There's a lot of stuff going on in the overall ecosystem, but I do want to dive into this chart. And the peak of Kaspa happened during KRC20. And what I believe happened was that KRC20 was a buy the rumor event, okay? And not only was it a sell the news event, I also think that it just underwhelmed people. You know, not only did you have selling pressure of people making money off the rumor, but then you had people saying, hey, this actually isn't that user friendly. And even though a lot of people tried to make different ways people could trade KRC20 coins, none of them were really user friendly. And at the end of the day, that's what we need to be able to onboard people is user friendly. So I believe that this little price over 5 cents, I believe that was absolutely amazing. Never financial advice, but taking a look at it here, we can look at a couple things. And this level right here that's at 8 cents, this is very, very important to me. It has pretty much the same amount of importance to me as this level down here. It's just a different time frame, right? They're both levels of high interest. And so you could see this one that I put in red. But the one over here in this box, this is something that we have touched multiple times over the life of this chart. You can see it's what was the little catch-all after this first real big run-up. You could see it was here as well, and then it acted as resistance here. Then it acted as a little bit of resistance here, but now it's acting as support. So I believe this 8-cent level is very, very critical to keep us from going back down and testing this for what would be a triple bottom, you know, from right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess that could be 4 potentially, but it's all looking okay to me. And whenever I look at this in a lower time frame, we can just come up here, look, and you can see it's right around like the golden pocket level, you know, right there at the 618. I don't have the 65% on here, but I bet it falls somewhere right perfectly with that line right there. But everything is looking good for Kaspa. We just need the overall market to turn around. But you know, a lot of people complicate technical analysis, and it really doesn't have to be that complicated. You can get into all kinds of stuff, but I do want to show just a basic indicator for people. A lot of people think technical analysis is very overwhelming, and it can be, and it really can be. And I feel sometimes when people know a lot about technical analysis, they actually tend to overthink things and make the wrong trades or overtrade because of something, and all of that can be detrimental to a portfolio. So what I like to do, something very, very basic, is come down here. You see, this is RSI. This is basically the relative strength index. How much buying pressure, how much attention. This tells you when it's overbought, essentially, okay? So on this high side, I normally have as red because that is when I want to exit a trade, right? A long-term hold is a different thing. And then green is when you would want to be acquiring this. Never financial advice. For instance, if we come way back over here, you could see it was up here double top on the RSI, and when it finally broke, you could see that was all the way here at the peak. If you look down here, we had these lows right here that mark these lows. If you look right here again, we'd passed that red line right there, and you could see it was the local top. Right now it makes other highs in the future, but you could see it was obvious that at this level right here, it was going to have a retrace. This is healthy. You know, we are on an overall run right now. It's kind of like the beginning of altcoin season. You can see altcoin season is up to 58 over 100, because whenever we take a look, you know, ETH has just crazy outperformed. It's just not flown into other assets yet, into lower market cap assets. But if we look at the daily, this is a crazy chart to look at. I mean, are you kidding me? Seriously, look at this. From this low to here, a 250% pump on an asset that's $500 billion. Holy cow, we are early, guys. But I'm very excited about everything going on with Kasplex, with Kaspa. Even though there is a delay, I believe this is just more of an opportunity for people like me to look at Kaspa and spend time acquiring it. But Kasplex is working hard. We explained how the overall layer 2 works, going through the white paper, seeing how it's wrapcast. This is something I think a lot of people don't understand, and I'm excited for Zealous Swap because that is the first decentralized exchange. But so far, I want to hold 8 cents on Kaspa. If we lose 8 cents, we got to reevaluate the chart. But I want to know, what is your price prediction for Kaspa at the end of this cycle? Forget all this local trading. If I hodl, what is the price prediction at the end of the run? I want to know what you think. Watch this video up above. And if you're not a part of the Finance Freeman family, what are we doing? Subscribe. I love you all.